PNP there now?
Because I think he must go into Riverdale as well.
Yes.
Okay, that means he must be at the side that take you through to Gubay and all that side then.
Yeah, but the thing is, remember, the issue is those areas. There's an extensive, whatever noise in the background here. There's an extensive water project that is going on right across the island right now, and this is about $250 million water project. It is happening in Central St. James right now. It is happening in South St. James right now. It is happening in parts of St. Elizabeth. It is happening in parts of Trelawney, St. Anne, all over Jamaica. Because remember, guys, that the last time we've had a significant all-island water project was back in the colonial days. The PNP attempted to do something some time ago, and this is about probably in the 70s. The last time water pipes were laid during the 60s. Those water pipes are now dormant. Most of them are rotted and damaged. That's why the water distribution is such a big problem in Jamaica. The PNP is guilty of starting these projects, never completed them. Remember that water main that run all the way from up in the hills, coming along 6 Mile out into Ferry. And when the JLP did the examination of those pipes, some pipes were run and they weren't even connected. And of course, the country would have paid monies for these water mains to be run. But they weren't connected, so the citizens never benefit. But now the country is going through a significant water project. And I'm telling you, this is not a promise, Pipes are on the ground, the team is there working, and a matter of fact, I think that project is about, I would estimate from my vantage point, about 60% complete. And that's the water project in St. James Central. I would say it's about 60 to 65% complete. And I can call somebody and get a more accurate number in percentage completion. The same thing for South St. James, which is in Homer Davis's constituency. Significant water project running all the way from Anchovy, going all the way back out to connect to Dave Brown's constituency. And if you drive along that corridor, you'll see the excavators out there. The lines have been, pipes have been laid and continue to lay. And it's going all the way up to the tank up in, I don't remember, Mount Carey, past Mount Carey and come up. Also, in the same South St. James, the new bypass that will bypass Long Mountain. This is separate and apart from the perimeter road, The bypass that will take you right from Macfield all the way across to connect to the bypass or the ring road and then carry back on the north coast. That road is getting ready now to start. The Chinese are there, equipments are going on the ground, and they're clearing the area now to start that project. So look here. The sort of development that Jamaica is undergoing now, the only time in the past that we have seen this level of development in Jamaica was back when, in the 1960s, when we discovered bauxite. And we were really doing some work in terms of building out of the schools and certain infrastructure. But we haven't seen that in decades. So look here, don't be fool you. Yes, PNP out there on their campaign and they want to preach doom and gloom. It is not the case. It is for us to ensure that we go on the ground, stay on the ground, and ensure that we stay on message and make sure that the message is tailored sufficiently that it can reach the voter. Because make no mistake about it, the work is being done. The JLP has done more than enough to be re-elected for a third term. More than enough. I will have any debate any day, and I will entertain any conversation that says, well, we have not done enough to communicate same to the average voter. That can be said. And I think that the party would have heard that cry loudly and are taking steps to ensure that the grassroots voters get connected, get a better understanding of what is happening at the constituency level. If you listen to the Prime Minister who is leading that charge in his last couple of stomping out in the field, he is making that connection. He is having the conversation with the people. All we have to do is to follow his lead. We're a leader-centric party. Where the leader go, we go. And if the leader tone is high, we are going to go high. If the leader tone is low, we are going to go low. The leader tone now is extremely high. And I mean, gone are the days when he's being the nice guy. He's no longer being the nice guy. The Prime Minister gloves are off. The Prime Minister's gloves are off. And I'm not saying that he's going to be an old Viagrego, but he's reminding people of the work that the government have done. And he's also, on the same hand, reminding people of the past where the PNP would have decimated this economy. So if you follow the Prime Minister lead, you can't run. And trust me, look at a couple of days ago, we had a discussion on this very platform here, where persons were, you know, seemingly wanted to question whether or not we did anything or we had any policy changes. And before the drop of a hat, we were able to provide a significant amount of policies that the JLP would have implemented that saw a reduction or a removal of taxes. We reversed the negative trend that the PNP had between 2011 and 2016. We reversed the negative austerity program that the PNP would have implemented coming in all the way from the 1990s, where the only tool that the PNP had then was to tax Jamaican people. And we brought that up. We discussed it. We read it. We read through a list of all the taxes that the PNP imposed on the Jamaican people. Taxes that we still today cannot see a dollar value on, because if the JLP were to have taxed the people of Jamaica the way the PNP did and have that kind of money coming in, we would have been a first world country already. We are able to grow the country's economy, spend more on goods and services, spend more on programs to uplift the lives of the Jamaican people without taxes. So it is clear to everybody that we have a better understanding of how the economy works and what needs to be done so we can grow. The PNP don't have that luxury. And we have to continue to preach that message and to connect that message with the people. We cannot ever join the PNP in this conversation about Notnangwan. It is the biggest load of garbage from the pit of hell. We cannot. I noticed that back in the local government election, there were some persons who joined that choir and started to sing about Notnangwan. Well, I would love any Labour Party supporter, or any Jamaican for that matter, who can come to us and tell us that Nangwa. Give me an example of why you could come to such conclusion. And I can guarantee you that there will be no such individual, because that doesn't exist. Yes, we can contemplate, we can always argue about whether or not more can happen. Yes, there's always room for more. But we can't have the discussion about room for more without saying what is actually available now and what is happening. Growth and development is taking place. The gentleman spoke this morning about young people not being engaged. Nonsense. There has never been a period in the history of this country where more young people have been engaged, not even under Eddie Siaga. There has never been a period in this country's history where more young people have been engaged than now. And these are some of the realities that we have to face. And we cannot allow PNP narrative to make us back away from these things. These are realities that we have to drive home every single day. The most we can do with it is to tailor it so it can go down to the grassroots people, but never back away from that position that we are doing the best. We are doing much better than the PNP and will forever do better than the PNP. And that land right there.
Chaps, this is the reason, why I'm so mad at the MP caretaker here in Southern St. Catherine. the name Fitz Jackson, when I mash up this around and try to in this constituency, and nothing happen. Nothing not go on. Fitz Jackson not do nothing, and the MP caretaker that we have here, man. But I don't know. I don't know. Chaps.
Let me say a quick thing there. Chopper, morning. I'm there upon the road, but I'm just make a quick commentary. Chopper,
Yeah, man.
may I ask you, what is it that the Labour Party is not doing? That if PNP drop the ball a million times, their people are so forever loyal to them. They have not been doing a good job. They have not been a good steward of anything. The funds that have got their constituency, they have always dropped the ball. But what is it that is cementing these people to PNP that all when them are dead, them not switch? And what is it that we are not doing why we can hold the minds of people like that? Because listen, it is without a doubt, which party is the best party, Right now, the only thing PNP is trying to campaign on, is if any little mistakes Labour may do, Them build a road, look a rainfall, it broke away, them points say, see it there? Them build road and it mash up. You understand me? That's all they're doing, But look on the traction it has gained. You understand me? So what is it that we are not doing? Because we're doing a great job, But there's something that the PNP is using to indoctrinate and glue their people's mind to their party. And the Labour Party, we need to do a better version of that. Because we already do the work, but boy, I don't know. But anyway, morning again, Labour rights. That's my question to you, Chopper. What is it that we are not doing? So we don't have this horde of faithful Labour rights who now go switch. Although we're doing a good job, but look on PNP. Piss poor job. And boy, them still forever faithful. What we're not doing?
Again, like I said to you before, a lot of it has to do with messaging. It's not that the PNP has done a good job. Again, you have to, if you the answer to that question, you have to go back to the origin of the two political parties. One political party is an ideological movement. The PNP started out where they would create groups from among the society that would have been loyal to them. They would have utilized government resources to strengthen those groups. The JLP has not done so. The organization, which is the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, gave birth to the Jamaica Labour Party. The People's National Party gave birth to all of the significant public sector group in this country. The first affiliate of the PNP was the Teachers Union. They are now the Teachers Association. The second affiliate was the Farmers Union. They are now JAS. JAS, yes. Those groups are significant. Teachers appeal to a certain demographic, the middle class, right? Farmers appeals to the lower level of society, the lower class. The PNP used government resources to strengthen these groups from the inception. So these groups did not make a decision to follow the PNP based on their performance. They follow the PNP based on their ideological affiliation. You can't beat that. When somebody is connected to you through ideology, you can't beat that. There's nothing nobody else can do to remove that from you. And what one would be asking is that the JLP now should change from who they are. A political party that appeals to the grassroots, the masses, the poor people. and now go to an ideological movement. And that is virtually impossible. It's going to be difficult for us to do that. Right? And what we are saying is that if the JLP ever start to use government resources to strengthen the supporting organization, for example, the Young People Movement, G2K, Young Jamaica, what if the JLP were to start channel government funding towards these groups? What if the JLP were to start organize among teachers using government resources to do so? How would society view us? What would that do to the country? It is those things that the PNP did why the country couldn't grow. Because the country's resources was never used in the best interest of the country. It was used in the best interest of the political party. So sometimes when we see things that happen, it hurt me to my core. But I cannot sit and ask my party to do the same thing. Because I know that if we do the same thing, what is going to happen? Some people say, boy, I better we mash it up because we can build it. And that's an argument to be made. But again, to what end? To what end? So it's a difficult task. People are wedded to a particular dogma. Most PNP are PNP. There cannot be nothing else. You can't have no conversation with a PNP. It not change. A comrade is a comrade to death. Nothing changed that. Comrade not change. PNP change. And what you find, those persons to which you spoke, Paul, those are comrades at heart. They cannot, will not, ever change.
But one of the things, Chopper, when I say what the comrades them good at, because me keep on and try to beat Chris Jackson for a man, and one of the things when I say they're good at. And then pick them out and you see them go around with 1 2 pound of flour and 1 3 tin of milk and them something and them give it. And them give them $5,000, $7,000. And those same people, you see them come around now and them start tell the people them say, boy, Fitz Jackson I do this and Fitz Jackson I do that, or this a PNP person I do this and P. The thing is, with Jamaica Labour Party, they don't do handout. That's us. We do not do handout. You understand? And when the PNP will find out the PNP, because look at it this way, the money where PNP is supposed to use and fix up them constituency, them I use it to give out handout. And me can't talk with that with facts. So anybody want to come sue them can come sue. You understand? It's just plain facts. Me evidence is there. You understand? I'm very frustrated and upset because this constituency that I'm in, nothing literally not happen. And people are going to say nothing not happen. So me have to put some people in them place the other night. Even though me can't walk and have to use scratch. You understand? me when name the chaps, only God he knows. These people, them me pissed off. Honestly.
But the thing is, in a constituency where there is a PNP MP, one have to start to make it known to the people that your MP gets the same resources like every other constituency. Fitz Jackson don't get any less than Terlang. He doesn't receive any less support than Robert Miller. He gets the same support from the government. Now the question must be asked, what it is that Fitz Jackson is doing with the money and the resources that comes to him. Is he circumventing the system of implementing projects and utilizing the money to pay for political loyalty? These are some of the questions that you have to ask. You have to ask your community and your constituency to ask.
But Chopper, may I interrupt? But the PNP, none of them deep rural area, I know of. Them not really get voting because of performance. Because of the handout mentality, a man can always say, oh, me can check my council and get a $5,000. Oh, me can go check my PNP and get a 5,000. What do you mean one day that him give me some liquor? All them talk there. Whilst them sitting there good. But the mentality we then create on the people them is to do it constantly and everything is okay, which is a counterproductive move, counterproductive strategy. The same thing with Mario are face. We are face here, so. Because what them doing, then channel the government resources into some projects that might trickle back down cash in a their own comrades pocket. So whilst then also give the handout, if then let go one project and then take the comrade them so illiterate, the fool them, we know that the project require 50 choka mall, other the 50 choka mall, but use 25 and then they share up the next 25 when they sell it amongst themselves and anything they make the project not do properly, and then over time the problem when them claim say them get rid of come back probably in a worse form. And then do this constantly over Jamaica. That's why you see all them do a come back on patch. And them do the most patching, and that's why you see Andrew Willis come up with a different strategy and say, no man, some of them are road that definitely cannot be patched and left alone. Them have to go completely get dig up and build back over with better material and more material. Or then do a be a counterproductive strategy, and just as you say, then come in at the communities them, then find the most prominent businessman, then throw themselves on him, then find the most influential family, then throw themselves on him, and then just give to that family, and then make that family control that the immediate space where him the inner.
Okay, so I raised my hand in the comment because I wanted to come in. I've been listening and I wanted to reply to the questions that Mr. Distant asked. And I will say to you, based on what I have observed over the years, as a little young person come up in a politics too, now me think me's a big woman, big woman in a politics. I have lived in a constituency that have the Jamaica Labour Party have the highest voter turnout on record. But yet that constituency, after that record win, the PNP had the constituency for 30 odd years, right? And during that time, as a little girl growing up, I saw how the PNP gained strength because a lot of persons in the constituency eventually got fed up. Because every time the election called, they voted, but the PNP still win. So there's a lot of persons who are not traditionally PNP. And I speak specifically to my constituency that I observed. So traditionally they are not PNP, them roots are JLP, but they switch because at the time, if you wanted any benefit, if you wanted to benefit at any at all, you would have to side with them. So that is one way how the PNP retain people being loyal to them. Now, since 2019, the MP died. We have by-elections and the Jamaica Labour Party won. And again, look at it. The voter turnout was record. And this win, I think, is the second highest voter turnout in what the PNP claim to be a traditional PNP seat and a traditional, them say, I feel them safe seat. Peter Phillips is on record. Peter Phillips is on record saying, we see it after we see it a PNP safest seat, right? So how is it that when the by-election called and then there's a candidate and you found that the Jamaica Labour Party come out victoriously with more votes, right? On record. And now, then after that, we had another election and the Jamaica Labour Party won again. I will say this. The Jamaica Labour Party's base is just as big and just as strong as the PNP. And I will say we have a good number of people who are not tribalistic, as one might think. People hate to win. No, people hate to lose. People like to be a part of winning. So if you're on the side that lose, that means your candidate fumble, your candidate not do a good job, your candidate, because I think being an MP is such a big responsibility, you know. And if you don't surround yourself with proper people, make a strong team, then you're going to find yourself in a serious position because constituencies are big. And a lot of times people want to be able to speak directly. They want to feel like they're a part of something. And this is one thing I will say the PNP do to feed them people. They do it. The Jamaica Labour Party tends to look out for Jamaicans. They are not as tribal. My MP, I have never seen her picking sides or say she'll look out for no specific area because the Ongo Labourite area or nothing to that effect. This is PNP's type of politics. So the people know, the people who support the PNP, they know if they want to eat the crumbs off a PNP table, them have to stay loyal to PNP. While Jamaica Labour Party supporters and swing voters, they know that if they have a good candidate and they have a good representative, everyone benefits. And I would say since 2016, I have seen where a lot of hardened PNP people are now on the Jamaica Labour Party side. I have never seen before so many people switch other than during the time of PJ when it was coming around to the third term. I saw where tribal labor rights take off them orange shirt and put on the orange just because they were tired of losing and they want to be a part of the winning team. And not everybody faithful and not everybody can go through hard times. So that is what you have. I don't think for a minute PNP loyalty or PNP people loyal to PNP more than a lot of PNP people very loud. And it comes down to you.
Young kids grow up believing, so the young people, let's say in their 20s, 18 to 20, or even early 30s, they grew up on that particular political party. And so that is the reason why they vote that way. They don't understand why. They don't know why. They don't really, some of them don't even care why. So that should answer a part of your question. And then it's really when they have made the decision that they're going to vote on true values. When they make the decision that, you know what, I'm going to really dig deep and find out which political party is actually doing the work, which political party is corrupt. Why do I need to switch? Actually really listen to what a politician is saying. Stop thinking about the money in their pocket, because it's not yours. Work for your own money. And that is when you will start to really understand what it is you're voting for. And then at that time, any well-thinking person, if they're a PNP, they're going to switch to JLP. And if they're a JLP, they're going to say, well, me, I stick with JLP because that's what I see at them. Me see I carry the swing. So I hope that gives you some clarity.